Hi, it's Sylvester. I really love YouTube. Not only do I love making videos for YouTube, but I also really love watching YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't really watch TV shows or movies, I just watch a crap ton of YouTube. And recently, my comfort channel has been Caitlin Doty's channel. I've been watching a ton of Caitlin Doty videos, just binge watching all of her videos basically. And like I said, I find it very comforting. And if you don't know who Caitlin Doty is, I highly recommend her channel because she makes fantastic videos. But she talks primarily about death, death acceptance, death positivity. She's a mortician. She's a death expert. And she talks about the subject in a way that is not too heavy. It's very lighthearted, but also very respectful. And she just makes really, really thoughtful, good, high quality content. And again, I highly recommend if you've never seen a Caitlin Doty video to go ahead and search up Caitlin Doty because she is fantastic. Love her very much. But because of the content I've been watching recently, I've been thinking a lot about death. And this might sound like a bit of a red flag because if you don't know, in 2024, I tried to kill myself twice. And so back then, I was thinking a lot about death. But the way I'm thinking about death now is very different from how I was thinking about it back then. I'm not currently suicidal. I promise I am not thinking about committing suicide. I do not want to commit suicide. I feel like I'm still very depressed, and I'm still struggling with mental illnesses, and my life's far from perfect, but I don't actively want to end my life. But I do think it is healthy to think about death in some ways because death is a fact of life. Everybody dies eventually. And so even though I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, I've been thinking a lot about what will eventually happen when I do die. Because I have said in the past that I want to be composted when I pass away. And unfortunately, that is not legal here in Ontario. It's not legal anywhere in Canada yet, which sucks because to me, that sounds like the best thing that could happen after I die is for my body to be turned into nutrient rich soil and you can grow things using my soil. Like my body will become something that you can plant a tree in. Like that just seems so beautiful and so eco-friendly and just wonderful. But again, unfortunately, it's not legal here, so that is not really an option for me. So if you are somebody in my life and you're wondering what I want when I die, basically just the cheapest cremation you can afford is perfect for me. I'm not super picky about what happens to my body when I'm dead because in theory I won't be around to witness it unless ghosts are real or something, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna care what happens to my body after I'm dead because I'll be dead. I won't be around. So just whatever's cheapest for the people who love me. When it comes to a funeral, I don't really care about whether or not there's a funeral held for me. If it makes the people in my life feel comforted and happy to have a funeral, then, by all means. But again, it won't really be for me. It'll be for the people who love me. Because again, I won't really be there. So in theory, I won't really care what happens after I die. So yeah, I don't really believe in an afterlife. I, it's funny. It's not funny. When I tried to commit suicide, I didn't think about what was going to happen after I died. I just assumed it would end. Like my consciousness would just stop, and I would just stop existing, and then that would be the end. I didn't really think about whether or not I'd come back as a ghost or like if heaven and hell were real. Like none of that really bothered me. None of that really concerned me in any way, and I'm still not like overly concerned with that. I mean, there is the small fear, having grown up in a very Christian society, there is the small fear of hell, especially as somebody who does not consider myself to be a Christian. I am a spiritual person, but I am not necessarily a Christian. I do go to church sometimes, a Christian church, but again, I don't really consider myself to be a Christian, and so I don't know if I would be allowed into heaven. And so there is that small part of me that is a little bit scared of hell, and that is like a little bit scared that I'm gonna die and find out that Christianity was right, and I should have been a hardcore Christian. And then I'm going to rot in hell for the rest of eternity, which is, obviously the worst case scenario. But again, I'm not like super concerned about that. I don't spend a ton of time thinking about what will happen after I'm dead. For the most part, I do believe that when I die, I'm just going to stop existing, and that's going to be it. I mean, part of me does kind of believe in reincarnation. I think that, like, I don't really know. I don't solidly believe in anything really, because there's no way to really know. And so who am I to pretend that I have all the answers when I really have no idea what happens after you die? And I do kind of believe in ghosts, but like when my cat passed away, I would talk to her still, and I would like try to convince myself that she's still around, that her ghost is still with me. But again, I don't know if I really believe that. I don't know. I don't really know what I think is going to happen after I die, and I'm not too concerned about it. And again, I'm not too concerned about what happens to my body after I die, whatever makes the people around me comfortable. Unfortunately, I have thought about what will happen if my mom passes away before me, which, let's be honest, is likely, because my mom's older than I am, and people who are older tend to die first. That's not necessarily always the case. There is a possibility that I will die before her, but probably not. And so there's not really going to be anybody to pay for any kind of cremation or anything after I'm dead. Actually, I said I don't care about what happens to my body, but I take that back. I really, 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 really don't want to be embalmed. I just hate the idea of these cancer-causing chemicals being put into my body and then leaching out into the groundwater, and like I don't want to be embalmed. I really, really don't want to be embalmed. So that is like my one wish. I mean, I don't really want to be buried either, because I feel like it's taking up space that doesn't need to be taken up. Like my body doesn't need to have a spot in the ground. Like I don't really want to be buried. But if I do get buried, I certainly don't want to be embalmed. So, yeah. But again, if my mom were to pass away before me, I don't have a spouse. I don't really have close friends. I have a sister, and I have a dad. So I guess my dad would have to pay for my embalming, or not my, again, I don't want to be embalmed, my cremation. But if both my parents pass away before me, then there's going to be nobody to pay for my cremation, because again, I don't have a spouse. I don't really have any close friends who can pay for something like that. My sister certainly doesn't make enough money to be able to pay for a cremation for me. So if both my parents pass away before me, I'm just gonna be the government's problem. I have looked up what happens to people who die who don't have family or loved ones to pay for their body to be disposed of, and the government will step in and take care of it. I'm pretty sure, like, the government will pay to have me cremated, and I'll be buried in like my ashes will be buried in a a communal grave, I'm pretty sure, is what will end up happening. But again, that doesn't really bother me that much. I don't. The not having parents is going to be worse than not having a place to be buried to myself. You know, like I don't care about the fact that I might have to share a grave with other people. You know, like that doesn't really bother me at all. But not having parents obviously would suck. And so I don't want to lose my parents. This has gotten really dark. Now I'm talking about it. Like, it's fine talking about my own death, but talking about my mom's death or talking about my dad's death, that feels like I'm crossing the line. That feels like I'm disrespecting them. It feels like I'm like almost jinxing it in some way. Like, by talking about it, I'm going to cause it to happen in some way, which I hope doesn't happen. I really hope my mom and dad live for a very, very long time. And I hope they live happy, healthy lives for a very, very long time. But next time I see my mom, I am going to ask her about what she's planning on doing after she dies, because I don't think we've ever had that conversation. And Caitlin Doughty does talk about how it's important to have that conversation with people about what they want after they die. And like, I don't know if my mom wants to be cremated or if she wants to be buried, but I do know that I don't have the money to pay for it if my mom passes away and there's no one else to pay for her burial or cremation. I certainly don't have the money for that. So, like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. Death is a very stressful thing, obviously. This is probably like the most obvious statement I've ever made in my entire life. Death is a stressful thing, but like, just the logistics of death. Like, I found out from my neighbor that her parents passed away, and I found out that when someone dies, you have to do their taxes. And it's like, if my mom passes away, I don't know how to do her taxes. I wouldn't even know where to begin doing her taxes. Like, I don't know, man. I barely know how to do my own taxes. You know what I mean? And so I'm assuming my mom's boyfriend, or technically husband, because they're common law married at this point, but I always refer to him as her boyfriend. I guess he's going to take care of it if my mom passes away before him. But if he passes away before my mom, then my mom passes away, am I going to be left having to do her taxes after she dies? Am I going to be left having to handle like insurance and stuff? Am I going to have to like pay for the funeral? Because again, I don't have the money to pay for a funeral. I don't have the money to pay for anything. So like, death is stressful primarily because of finances. I mean, not primarily. That sounded so wrong. Like, the biggest thing I'm scared of about my mom dying is the finances. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. I would not know how to continue on without my mom. I love my mom. She is my best friend in the entire world. She is my reason to be alive for the most part. Like, I love my mom so much, and the thought of living without her is terrible. But then on top of that, all the stressful stuff that has to come along with somebody you love dying, it's just, death is like, it's a lot, man. Like, death is a lot. And I don't know, I don't know what I would do. So yeah, now I'm stressing myself out. Caitlin Doughty's videos are very comforting. The way she talks about death is very comforting to me for some reason. But now that I'm sitting here actually talking about death, I'm stressing myself out, and I'm realizing that death is a lot scarier than Caitlin Doughty sometimes makes it seem. And so, yeah, I have to talk to my mom about what she wants after she dies. Like, I genuinely don't know if she wants to be cremated or if she wants to be buried. here I am talking about my mom behind her back. This video is probably going to make her so uncomfortable. I probably shouldn't even post this video because, like, I'm just talking about my mom behind her back. Yeah, I don't know. Her and I are going to have a death conversation at some point. But talking about it on YouTube is inappropriate. See, like, talking about my own death is fine, but talking about my mom or my dad dying, like, like, I'm stressed about my dad dying as well. I feel like I've focused a lot on my mom, but obviously I love my dad as well, and I don't want him to die, and I don't know what he wants when he dies either. Like, I don't know if he wants to be buried or cremated, if he wants a funeral, if he wants to be embalmed. I don't know. I've never had that conversation with him before, and I'm probably not ever going to have that conversation with him because it's just awkward. It's just really weird to talk about death. And I know Caitlin Doty, if she were to be watching this video, she'd be so mad at me for saying that. Like, it's a tough conversation, but you have to have the conversation. It's a necessary conversation, and, like, yes, but also just the relationship I have with my dad. I don't know if just, like, casually talking about death is, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could try. I could bring it up. I could see, but like, I don't know. I just feel like it would be weird to talk with my dad about death. So maybe it wouldn't. Maybe I should try. I don't know. Again, I should be having this conversation with him and not talking about it to the internet. What is this video? This video is so stupid. I'm probably going to delete this video if I even end up uploading it. Yeah, death is stressful. Death is really, really, really stressful. I really wish that I could be composted. That would be so awesome. It would be so cool to turn into soil. And Mom, if you're watching, composting is like, being composted is like, you're not even being eaten by maggots or anything like that. You're not being eaten by bugs. You're just, like, bacteria is breaking your body down, essentially. Like, it's just which is good, because I don't love the idea of being eaten by maggots. I don't love the idea of decomposing. Again, I don't want to be embalmed. I would much rather decompose naturally than be embalmed. In fact, a natural burial would be fine as well, but I don't know. Again, cremation is probably the best and cheapest option. It's refreshing to think about death and not be suicidal, because I have spent a lot of time in my life thinking about death, but in a way where it's like I wanted to be dead and I just wanted to die. And it's really, really reassuring to be in a place where I'm talking about death and I'm actually, like, not talking about it as if, like, in a way where I glorify it, where I'm talking about, like, how lucky dead people are to be dead, like, and like, I'm not talking about how much I wish I was dead. Like, I'm talking about death, but it's not, again, I'm not suicidal. I am not wishing to die. I do want to die before my mom, but I know that's probably not going to happen, and that really, really sucks, because she is my best friend and my only friend, really. So, like, I can't imagine living without her, but it is what it is, and everyone dies, and that's just a part of life. And like, I never really thought that I was that affected by death. Like, I've always been kind of chill with the idea of dying. And not only because I've been suicidal for a lot of my life, but just, like, generally, I'm not really scared of dying. I'm not scared of being dead. I'm scared of the process of dying, because I'm scared of pain, and so I'm scared that I'm going to die in a really horrific, painful way, or a really scary way. Like, that is something that I worry about, but I don't actually worry about what happens after I'm dead. I'm just, like, that's never really concerned me. But I do I used to think that I was pretty death positive, until my cat died, and then I was surprised with how hard that was for me to deal with. Like, it was just, I lost my desire to exist without my cat. Like, she was all I had, really, and so to lose her was so hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever been through. It was losing my cat. And so losing my mom is something that I'm really, really, really scared of now, because it's like, if it was that hard to lose a cat, I can't imagine how hard it's going to be to lose my mom. You know, like, I just don't know if I'll be able to continue living. Like, I'm not currently suicidal, but I do genuinely fear that when my mom passes away, I will become suicidal again, because I won't have any reason to continue living without my mom. Like, it is something that I worry about. And, you know, I know, like, she wouldn't want me to kill myself. She wouldn't, you know, she'd want me to keep living and keep going on without her and all that, but it's just so much easier said than done. And, like, trying to live without my cat was so hard for the first few months that it's like, it got a lot easier as time went on, but, like, it still sucks. And yeah, I really fear not my own death, but the death of my mom. And yeah, this video got really dark. I guess it's a video about death, so I guess it was always going to be a heavy video, but, like, I feel like I went places in this video that I wasn't expecting to go when I sat down to film this video. It was supposed to be a lighthearted video about what I want to happen when I die, just casually chatting about death. But it got real. It got really real. So, yeah, anyways, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.